Good evening, Vancouver, and thank you for coming to Evolver Vancouver. And I'd like to take a moment to thank Sobi for putting together another community event where like-minded people can come and engage and share visions of our inner and outer spheres. My name's Jennifer, and I'm coming to you virtually from London. And tonight, I'm going to be talking about visionary festival design, which I realized upon starting to research for this talk, and you scratch the surface, you can fill an entire book. So tonight I will siphon off a few gems which I feel are a portion of what is relevant. I'm going to start with a visionary experience. Visionary experience, in the ancient and original interpretation of its meaning, is that of receiving revelation, inspiration, and guidance from a transcendent dimension of consciousness. Visionary experiences can have both an individual and group affect. For centuries, we have utilized ritual and ceremony to engage with great mystery. The visionary experience was, and in contemporary, expressed through dance, art, music, and by international communities coming together to share and learn about the experience. I think a really important part of understanding what visionary festival design is the actual makeup and why it is unique to a gathering of people and what makes it different from other festivals around the world. I'm going to use the temporary autonomous example by Hakan Bey in his book, The Temporary Autonomous Zone, Ontological Anarchy and Poetic Terrorism. This book writes about creating temporary spaces which are free from the formal socio-political structures of control. Bey never defines in his essay what it actually is, a temporary autonomous zone, but he says that the zone is the perfect tactic for an era in which the state is omnipresent and all-powerful, and yet simultaneously riddled with cracks and vacancies. He leaves it wide open. It can be anywhere from a piece of land to your imagination to the internet. The concept of TAZ was first put into practice large scale by the Cacophony Society in California, which they called trips to the zone, or zone trips. And one of their zone trips gave birth to Black Rock City, also called the Burning Man Festival, which I'm sure most of you know about. Brian Holmes is an art critic from Paris, and he describes the potential of an autonomous zone beautifully. So I'm going to take a quote from him here. For it is the very essence of clear consciousness to recognize that we human beings are full of obscurity, of unresolved personal and historical passions, of half-understood images and enticing forms that we constantly engage with one another, generating the majority of our motivations and behaviors in the process. So that the act of giving ourselves our own laws becomes something quite complex, something experimental and experiential, which can never be resolved once and for all, but only cared for and coaxed along in a manifold of ways, among which we find the artist, whose supreme expression of sensation, intellect, and imagination. I love that. And so from there, I thought we could move on to the role of art, music, and hallucinogens in the temporary autonomous zone or visionary art festivals. Art, music, and hallucinogens are tools for accessing visionary consciousness. They are gateways to transcendental states. Alex Gray, an iconic visionary artist from New York, shares that visionary art is one of the primary ways that human contact with higher subtle dimensions gets translated into our communally shared physical dimensions. When the subtle dimensions are translated by skillful and mystically inspired artists, visionary art can provide an open portal for glimpsing one's own spiritual potential. By creating a fully immersive environment, including art, music, performance, workshops, ceremony, where people can explore their inner and outer realms, the experience is a unique opportunity presented to surrender to the ecstasy of being in the moment, to experience a moment of rebirth, an unfurl of the ego, have awareness of the subtle energy systems, of chakras, of movements, and understand and get that point of aha, of the universal mind and cosmic unity. In a way, it creates a modern day telestron, the ancient Greece temple for initiates, where they would go in and come out with a greater understanding of oneself in the universe. And I think that a really important part of this gathering of festivals and the visionary consciousness is community. And community is a reflection. It's a group of peers that think along the same lines. We share insights, how to walk this life, this path. There's an acceptance. It's all right to be a bit of a freak. It's okay to be a bit different, to walk your own walk, to talk your own talk, to be an individual. And I really feel that's important when we become such a homogenized society. There's a kinship. There's a shared vision for the future, each individual making an offering of their own being. We're cultivating empathic connections, and we're bringing together the global mind. And community really holds framework for that, because without community, we would just all be the lone wolf. And as the prophecies are saying, the age of the lone wolf is over. So what is the goal and the purpose of what we've been doing with visionary festivals and the design within them? I feel that we are trying to create a culture outside of media indoctrination that embraces the freedom of creativity and expression. We're trying to collectively help one another to embrace a social evolution. We're trying to cultivate an empathetic and altruistic consciousness to define new ways of being here and now on the planet. I know that most of us here and now know what I'm talking about and have felt that essence and have had those aha moments on the dance floor, or where you are with a group of friends and it all links up and we have that moment of emancipation. And I've come to this point for myself as I say, so now what? What's next? What can we do? What are the next stages of visionary consciousness? And through talking to people and connecting with peers and friends and community, I've realized that we need to make a roadmap. A map from our daily existence to the amplified intentional states that we find in the festival experience. We need to share this knowledge somehow with everyone so the critical masses can help contribute to the paradigm shift that needs to take place right now in our moments of our cultural awakening, that they can experience the aha moments. The question, I feel, lies in how do we cultivate empathy and interconnectedness through our daily living? How can we proliferate visionary consciousness? Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir here today, and I'm sure most of you engage in art, music, dance, media, film, social work, community work, humanity work, take political stances, stand behind grassroots organizations, volunteering, organizing salons, protest festivals, teaching, youth work, working with elders, shamans, healing, light workers. And I think that it's time for us to become mavericks. A time to take the knowledge we have gained from the visionary, and each of us in our own way, each of us take our own magic, our own vision, what we excel at, and push the limits and really, really take risks to see how we can help emancipate the slumbering of our spiritually impoverished fellow inhabitants of Earth. The echo of endless prophecy states the time is now, and we are the ones to create the change. One thing that I do find really inspiring is that all over the world, from every continent, there are nodes of people thinking and talking about what we are talking about here tonight. They are gathering at festivals, meeting at salons and events, and creating a roadmap to the aha. Now, thank you for listening. I wanted to just say that this is a very surface look into a topic that needs deep inquiry. And I hope everyone here joins or is already a member of the Evolver Vancouver or the International Evolver Network, so we can continue this dialogue and create a discourse to further this movement. Vancouver, you're so loved. And I have one last quote for you. Conscious evolution embraces us if we take responsibility for it, to use our creative power to guide our own lives and the evolution of the systems and the communities in which we live and work. If the process by which individuals and groups, families, organizations, and societies can envision and create images of what should be and bring those images to a life by design. And that's by Barbara Marx Hubbard. Thank you very much.